And let me share my Discord. And let me share the Discord link on YouTube. And let's open the YouTube and share the YouTube link for you. So you have access to the stream. For you have access. And let's clean up. All right. I think we're good to go. So, your position is that trans people are no good, are up to no good. You don't like trans people.
No, I'm against transgender ideology. If people want to cross-dress or take hormones or do whatever, I don't care. But transgender ideology states that, if you have a cross-dressing fetish, that means that you are trans and don't know it yet. You're an egg, and we're going to help you hatch. We're going to help you realize your true self. But what they're really doing is manipulating vulnerable, confused people to misunderstand themselves in a very profound and damaging way.
Okay. So,
and that is what I'm against.
Okay. So let's make a distinguish. Let's distinguish between legal age and under legal age. So, would you claim this also for? Let's say everybody is over legal age. Would you say there is an issue there too?
I mean, I'm against the ideology. If somebody wants to cut off their dick or do whatever or take whatever drugs, I don't care.
No, but you mentioned the words vulnerable and confused. So I'm asking, would you consider me as vulnerable as and confused?
I don't know. Are you being groomed by a trans woman?
Wait, but you said vulnerable and confused. How is that relevant to me being groomed? You said vulnerable. When you say vulnerable and confused,
I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. You're asking the questions.
How do you define vulnerable? What's like? How can I know if I'm vulnerable? If how do we test this feature called vulnerability? This property, this attribute called.
Why are you asking me that?
You said that they're taking advantage of people, young men, let's say, who are vulnerable and confused or confused. I'm just trying to, because I'm trying to. You're making an accusation, so I'm trying to understand this accusation. You're saying these people are up to no good. The trans ideology, these trans ideologues, they're up to no good. They're trying to bring into a cult young, confused, vulnerable men. If I understand you.
Yeah, they're trying to turn all the cross dressers and sissies into trans women, and I'm against it. I say, leave them alone.
Okay, I'm a sissy. That's my fetish, so I identify as a sissy.
Oh,
So.
really? Yeah, so you know exactly what I'm
Mhm.
talking about
What do
then.
you mean? I know exactly what you're
If you're
talking.
in that world, if you're in that world,
What
I'm certain you would have been exposed to the kind of behavior that I disapprove of.
I don't. I'm not part of any BDSM community actively. I'm not an active
Oh, I see.
participant in the BDSM. Are you a member of the BDSM community?
No,
Okay.
but I know.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I'm trying to understand. If I go, this last Friday, I was supposed to join a BDSM party, but it conflicted with my acro yoga class, so I couldn't go. So, so I'm trying to figure out, um, who would you consider to be a victim of this cult, a potential victim of the cult? Like I'm trying to narrow down.
Um,
Hmm.
well, they basically, it kind of doesn't matter what
Mhm.
who the person is. That
Not,
the
not.
general thing they do is this:
Mhm.
they say, "Oh, you possess this trait
Mhm.
or this desire.
Mhm.
Um, this means you're trans." Basically,
Okay, but
that's what they do.
if somebody look, I'm not attracted to the idea of becoming a woman. That doesn't turn me on. What turns me on is the fantasy of getting my dick cut off. That turns me on, but not in order to become a woman. To become to be
Okay,
emasculated turns me on, but not to become a
sure,
woman. When I see when I
but
see
you don't see how these things could be related.
no, I never. When you introduced this to me, it blew my mind because like when I see trans people, trans men, trans women, like Blair White, I'm not attracted to Blair White. I don't find Blair White to be sexual at all. When I see a picture of a trans woman that is post op, it does not turn me on. As soon as I know that it used to be a guy, it immediately turns me off. If I so I'm attracted also to sex bots, to fembots, to robots, feminine robots. But if I know that a feminine robot was built as a man, as a male, and was converted into female,
Bruh.
I'm not turned on by that. I cannot. I will not have sex with that fembot. So I'm very sensitive. I'm repelled from the idea of men. Men repel me, but I am into forced homosexuality. Forced homosexuality turns me on, but I'm not a homosexual.
Yeah.
I'm not turned on by homosexuality. I'm not turned on by men. So
Yeah, you're just turned on when they make you their bitch. Yeah, I understand. I know
when a
these things.
woman,
Uh,
mhm. If a woman forces me to have sex with a guy, that is my fantasy. But I would never have sex
okay.
with a guy without a girl forcing me to do it. Or
Well, look, dude.
mhm.
If you're this deep in this world and
What do you mean deep?
you
I'm
know
not deep in the world.
you don't know,
Mhm.
yes, you are.
What do you mean?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And if you're this deep in and you don't know what I'm talking about,
Okay.
you are being willfully blind or you're unwilling to address something, and there's nowhere to go. Sorry.
I'm being willfully blind? That sounds like an. I don't know. I don't even know what it means to be willfully blind. I don't know what you mean by that. And he left. Unbelievable. That was extremely interesting. All right, short and to the point. Okay, so that's it for today, at least for now. That was a short 8.5 minute discussion, mostly about my fantasies. I'm sorry if you had to endure that. That was not my intention. So I was trying to debate this guy. Let's just recap. So I was trying to debate this guy. He thinks that he's a cross dresser, and he thinks that he's being manipulated by trans women to become trans. And I told him, "Who's forcing you?" He said, "Yeah, because some men are confused and vulnerable." I said, "Am I confused?" And so I'm not sure if, according to him, I'm confused and vulnerable, but I am everything he said. Like, what was the thing that he said? Being a sissy. So the sissy fantasy is one of my fantasies. So I'm categorized according to him as frail and weak and vulnerable and susceptible. What was one of the words that he used? Anyway, so according to him, I should be protected. I need protection from the trans community. But I told them I have the trans community for me is not sexual. I'm not turned on. I'm not attracted to the notion of trans. It's completely orthogonal to my sexuality. It's like, so I didn't tell them, but I have good friends who are trans, and I don't view them in any sexual way, and it hurts their feelings. But there's nothing I could do about that. I'm not sexualized. It doesn't turn me on. The trans and gay, nothing about that turns me on unless it's part of a BDSM forced homosexuality fantasy or something. Anyway, and he just ran away. Interesting, very interesting. But that's the way it is. All right. Thank you, everyone. See you later. Bye.